Hello, now that we have seen how to access data, what we are going to do in this video is to show the results using this format. Okay, so I'm going to delete this DB grid and this data source because I don't need them, and I'm going to use a control that is named TWebTableControl. Okay, this control allows me to add information dynamically using HTML. Okay. So I'm going to set the, well, first the name is TC, I don't know, jobs, for example. And I'm going to be changing the call count to 1 because I'm going to show only one column. And the row count is going to be 10. Okay, that's it. Okay, I'm going to remove the row header and the call header properties because I don't have such headers here. It's basically just a line after another. Okay, and in order to do that, I'm going to add a new method here that I'm going to call it let's see, procedure populate table. Okay, well, as you can see, this is a hint for you in order to write code more efficiently. This is highlighted in yellow because there is a warning, and this means if I click here is I have like a helper in order to implement that method, the implementation part. What we have done is to add the Shift-Control-C keys, so if you press them, okay, the implementation will be generated automatically. Okay, and in this method what I'm going to do is to write all the code in order to fill that table with 10 records from the client dataset. Okay, so my main loop is going to be a repeat until. Okay, let me check. Yes, and the condition for the until is going to be until the CDS jobs, the client dataset, reaches the end. Okay, this is the repeat. Then I will break this loop at the right time. So when I have like 10 records, I will just break the loop. Okay, in order to control that number of records, I'm going to add a new variable here. It's going to be the integer. Please don't kill me for using I. Okay, and I set this to 0. Okay, and then I increment for every record if e more or equal than 10, then break. Okay, I'm going to use this formatting extension. This is not included by default. I will probably later include an article about it because it's a different plugin that you can install on Visual Studio Code, but for me it's quite nice. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is to access the fields that I want to access using file by name and getting the values, but what I want to place on every cell in the table control is HTML. Okay, the HTML for this line. Okay, these lines is HTML that I can find on my template here. Okay, listings container. Okay, this is the listing detail, and then I copy this to the clipboard and I go to my source code, and this is the text that I need to format with the dynamic information read from my database. So I'm going to have a string variable here and to say this cell is going to be using format. Okay, going to be using format to add the parameters. Okay, and I'm going to format this string properly, and this is a string management and so on. Okay, and I will replace all the values with the information from the fields. Okay, Okay. I still need to add that information, but the key here is the TC jobs has a property called cells. I'm going to scroll this so it doesn't interfere. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is the first column, and the one pointed by the counter I'm having, and to assign this to cell. Okay, and to set here empty parameters just for you to see how this is going to work. Okay, so when do I need to call this method, the populate table? Okay, well, I need to wait until the table has been connected. Okay, so I'm going to generate has been open. So after the client dataset is connected, okay, I'm calling here populate table. Okay, now let's run just to see how this works. It's not going to work properly, and but in order for you to see the progress of what we are doing. Okay. Okay, this is looking, more or less as it should be, but as you can see, this is duplicated information. Okay, why? Because this table control is not embedded into the template; it's just placed on top of it. So I actually need to remove the template itself and use element ID in order to embed this inside. And it's looking good. It's pretty easy to do this. So let's improve it. And on the template, what I'm going to do is to change the listing. Let me check. Okay, listing container here, this div. Sorry, here this div. I'm going to name it listing. Okay, and I'm going to remove everything that is inside and just keep the div there. Okay. Okay. So now it's empty. Okay. And now the table control, I'm going to set the element ID and to set it to listing. Okay. Now it's embedded inside the designer. Okay. I'm going to run this again for you to see what is the difference. Okay, here it is. As you can see, now what we are getting are 10 records. Okay, and at this moment is static information. So the next thing is to make to replace this HTML static template with the dynamic information from the table. Okay, thank you.